Hello everybody, welcome to our career coaching scheme launch event. For those who don't know me, my name is Carmel Moran and I'm one of two co-conveners of Edinburgh Clinical Medical School Athena Swan, along with Susan Farrington, who's there in the gallery as well. So this coaching scheme is an Athena Swan initiative, which is funded through an ISIF, a Wellcome Trust ISIF funding, and it's geared towards academic staff and providing coaching for academic staff. We ran it last year. This is our second year. We had 10 people who have come through it, initially face-to-face, and not surprisingly, the rest online, and some very good experiences that have come through. So we're probably going to run this online, certainly for the first half of the year, and then see if we can get face-to-face later on. But Kirsty will talk more about that later. So after the event, you will be circulated an application form to be submitted by the 27th of November. These will then be confidentially reviewed by Kirsty, and Susan and I will at some point see them, and they will be ranked, and then the 10 people will be asked, do they want to undertake the coaching? The other things I have to say is the session is being recorded for those attendees who can't come, but it will also be circulated to anybody who is here if you want to refresh or look back at it and see what's involved in the coaching process. But we're absolutely delighted to have Kirsty McWilliam from Coaching Direct giving us this, talking to us today about coaching, and she has some of her coaches with her as well, who will give you a flavour about what's involved. And I really hope you get as much out of it this year as we all got out of it last year. Thank you very much for coming, and I'll hand over to Kirsty.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Carmel. Thank you to Joe and Susan, who are on the call as well, for inviting us along and for inviting us back to run another programme as well. What I'd like to do today is really go over with you what the programme is about, what we did last year as well, share with you some of that, but also to introduce you to some of the coaches who will be on the programme as well. I also thought, since we've got you for an hour, it might be quite good, because I think we all probably are lacking some kind of human interaction at the moment, is if actually we spent some time in breakout rooms in pairs as well. So I'll give you some opportunity to speak to each other. I'll give you some guided work to do while you're doing that as well. So hopefully you have a really solid understanding by the end of this of what coaching is, but also hopefully start to feel what it would like to be coached as well. So that's what we're going to do today. We've got an hour, so hopefully we'll be able to get through it all in the hour as well. And as Carmel said, we are recording this session as well. So first of all, I would just like to let you know a little bit about Coaching Direct, so you understand a little bit more about who you're working with. My name, as Carmel said, is Kirsty McWilliam. My background is I was an accountant for 15 years before I was first introduced to coaching within PwC. And it was one of the best experiences, definitely the best personal and professional experiences I'd had. And that was come through my chartered accountancy exams and quite a lot of other personal development in my role as well. And it was just a real opportunity, and the way I kind of reflect on it was to step off the treadmill. And I think at times I didn't even know I was on a treadmill, or certainly I didn't maybe realise that actually I had the ability to step off that career treadmill that I was on. So that was 12 years ago, and I decided, rather than stay as an accountant working with change within business, what I'd like to do is support change in people as well, and then Coaching Direct was born as well. So we do a variety of things, as you can kind of see up there as well. So we do coaching, we run coaching services like we're going to do. So as well as coach you all individually, what we will do is we'll work with Carmel, Susan and Joe to really feedback themes and really help them understand maybe how they can support you guys in the future as well. We also train coaches. We do a lot around emotional intelligence, and we do a lot around strengths, as you would imagine as well. Quite a lot of our work on emotional intelligence and strengths we also have in articles and blogs, and we have them all in our resource section, which I can share with you later on, so you can have that as well. But before I jump into what coaching is, I thought it might be quite nice to introduce some of our coaches. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm trying to be smart and spotlight people's videos. Let's see if I can do this. So hopefully Kathy has now come on screen for you all. So Kathy, do you want to just quickly say hello?
Hi there, everyone. I'm Kathy. I work with Kirsty. I'm an associate Coaching Direct. I was involved in the scheme this year as well, and it's amazing. Great to see how everybody blossomed, and really, really good as well. We were coaching during lockdown, which I think was really great for everyone. And some of the changes in the coaches were amazing. I always say a coach is not going to give you the answers. You're going to come up with the answers yourself, and that is what has been amazing about this process, and seeing some of the coaches really, you know, blossoming and coming up with their own answers and their own purpose as well.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Kathy. Let's see if I can seamlessly now replace Spotlight to Leslie.
Hi there everyone, my name's Leslie. Sorry, I've got a wee bit of a disco happening behind me. Do apologise for that. So like Kathy, I worked last year with a number of coaches on the scheme, which was such an amazing experience for myself, just to see everybody flourishing and really achieving what they've set out to. And just working with them to identify what was important to them. It was it really was a wonderful experience for myself as a coach, and hopefully for the people that I worked with. So I'm looking forward to working again next year.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. And I don't know if Fiona's on the call. Fiona was on another call, so she might not quite have made it yet. So she might be able to, I'll remove Spotlight, she may be able to introduce herself. But I'd also like to introduce you to Sarah Christie, who's our project manager. Sarah runs all of our programs. So if you are successful in one of your programs, Sarah will be the person that guides you through every step of the way and be the person that answers all your questions. She certainly answers all our questions, so she'll be there to do that as well. So Sarah will take you through the project management. So just so I can get a little bit of an understanding of what knowledge we've got in the room, even just a show of hands, even if you just want to put your hand up like that, if you've got your camera on, or if you've not got your camera on, one of the kind of reactions at the bottom. But who has had formal coaching? Who has already experienced some formal coaching? So I don't think anybody. Okay. Right, good. Well, we are hopefully starting at the level that we might need as well. What we're going to do is just the structure of it is if you've got any questions, you can ask them in the chat box as well. I'll kind of come to them, but there will be an opportunity at the end as well for you to ask some questions as well. But don't wait till the end. If you've got a burning question, pop it in the chat box as well. We'll take that forward there. Okay, brilliant. So let's get right on with what is coaching. So coaching, this is a lovely way of kind of understanding what coaching is. This is by a woman called Carol Wilson. She worked with Richard Branson in Virgin, and she has been a really founding member of the Association for Coaching, which is our professional body as well. So she tries to talk about, and sometimes it's easier to understand the differences so you can understand coaching. So she talks about a counsellor. So she does the analogy of driving a car. So as if someone's beside you when they're driving a car. So she says a counsellor will listen to the anxieties that you have about the car. So there's assuming that there is an anxiety there. They're assuming there is some kind of healing to be done. A therapist will actually explore what is maybe stopping you, so movement, you're not moving forward, from driving that car. A mentor will share tips about how they drive the car and what path they're probably on. So there'll be quite a lot of advice and judgment with that as well. A manager will have their own organisational objectives to go on as well. So a manager will tell you how to drive the car. However, a coach will encourage you and support you in driving your car the way you want to drive the car as well. So I think it kind of helps us start to understand that actually sometimes it's easier to explain what coaching isn't before we actually can really jump on and understand what coaching is as well. So what should you expect when you're being coached? I think it's quite important for us to go over this. It will be, although our contract is going to be with the university, it will be completely confidential between you and your coach. Nobody else will get to understand or see. We will maybe feedback themes, but we won't be talking about, for example, this is what Sarah said, or this is what Kath said as well. It's a very solution-focused approach coaching. So we're constantly looking at where are you today and where do you want to go tomorrow. So although we might look to the past sometimes to find some answers, we won't spend much time in the past. We won't dwell in the past. We normally think that's more a therapeutic healing. So it's very solution focused. Where can you go tomorrow? Doesn't mean the past won't be referenced, but we won't dwell on the past. Some of the feedback we get when we are doing evaluations at the end of coaching is what was the highlight for you? And they talk about being listened to. So normally in different levels of listening, we will have conversations back and forward. When you're being coached, you're actually truly being listened to. Someone isn't then coming in and sharing anything about what they want to do or what they think you should do. They're completely listening to what it is you're talking about and what you want as well. So I think building on what Kathy said earlier, this isn't about the coach telling you what to do or the coach giving you the answers. This is about us creating space so that you can actually find the answers yourself as well. Your coach will guide you to do that, but they will not tell you what to do as well. So that doesn't mean it's all going to be a bit of a walk in the park. And I think anybody that's been coached before will say it's been challenging, because you're challenging to really make changes or really look and examine things that perhaps you've not thought about before as well. And there's also a challenge to action. If you think about coaching is about moving forward, that comes with an action orientated one as well. So we're not challenging you in an aggressive way. We'll be challenging you based on what you've already told us, but really challenging you to make sure you get the most out of the coaching sessions as well. Again, to make sure that we do that in a really nice way, it will be really supported. I think one of the nicest things I think about being a coach is once you guys set a goal, then actually your coach is completely with you every step of the way and encouraging you and really supporting you to get to that point as well. So we'll explore what's right for you, which is building on our earlier point as well. And then this kind of next point is we talk about setting an inspirational goal. So some people, if people in the room had been coached before, sometimes it can be quite transactional. The coaching can be quite objective setting. So I want to get funding, or I want to move up a level, or I want to get promoted. But what we try and do with our type of coaching is think these are fantastic goals to have, but what is the inspirational goal? So we always talk about what is the emotional change. So we do talk about emotions. It's not as if we dwell on emotions, but we really try and get you to connect with what would be inspirational for you, because this is what will really hook you and give you the motivation to continue as well. So we look at inspirational goals and we look a lot around what is the emotional change for you as well. That doesn't mean it's not structured. So you will each get 6 coaching sessions. The first one we will kick off by finding out a bit more about you. We will also then move on in that session to setting that inspirational goal. And again, your coach will guide you all the way. We sometimes have people say, well, actually, I don't know if I'm ready for coaching because I don't know exactly what I want, or actually I'm going to think about this first and I'm going to find out what direction I want to go in and then I'll be coached. But actually, sometimes that is the very best place, is when we don't have clarity and when we're not quite sure where to go. That's actually when coaching can be at its most powerful. Your coach will help you really analyse what's going on. They will help you find your right way forward. And then our structured process over 6 sessions will really get you there. So session 1 will be about finding that goal for you. Session 2 will be a development plan based on that goal. And then we'll walk our way through the sessions. And then the penultimate session, session 5, will actually be about building sustainability. By that point, you guys will all have made some fantastic changes, but we want you to keep making those changes and keep sustaining them without the support of a coach. So what we'll look is to build a sustainability plan with you before we get to session 6. So I think people are quite surprised at how structured coaching is. So it's 6 sessions. We can make a massive amount of change and difference within 6 sessions, and it's normally around 6 months as well. So the biggest part of coaching, we talk about coaching as a space to hear yourself, which sounds a bit strange, but we're all so busy, and especially I think the past 6, maybe longer now, 7-8 months of all of the changes that we've had has actually really rocked quite a lot of us as well. So one of the outputs we really hope from coaching is you start to understand yourself better. You really start to have a better awareness of you and what's really important for you. So sometimes values and beliefs will come up at this point as well. And again, for us, it's about making sure that although this programme is a year-long programme from the start of the applications to the finish, we really hope that you take the changes that you've made with your sustainability plan and really take them back into your workplace and really create that sustainable way forward as well. So that's what you should expect. A little bit about what not to expect as well. So coaching isn't about being given a goal. We're not going to say, well, actually for you, we think it's career progression, or for you, we think it's X, Y, or Z. What we will do is we will listen and we will really help you understand what's important to you so that you can set that goal as well. Even though one of your coaches might come up with the best idea in the world and you might commit to that, if you come up with that, then actually your level of commitment and your level of motivation is much higher. So your coach will support you to find your own goal as well. So we won't be there to give you goals, but we will support you to find one. We won't give advice, and I think some people really would love some advice sometimes during our coaching sessions, and this is definitely much more in the mentoring hat as well. We can definitely signpost, and we've got lots of resources for you to read as well. But one of the things when we start giving advice, actually, what can happen is actually it becomes much more of the kind of balance. We want to have quite a balanced partnership. And if we start bringing our advice in, then it can be much more about our agenda and not yours as well. So there isn't any advice. It is signposted, but there's certainly none of the advice that you might get in a mentoring session as well. That doesn't mean, though, that you won't get direction as well. That you won't have direction. We won't give you direction about where you want to go, but because we've listened and because you've created this really inspirational goal, that will be easy for you to find as well. So again, we've talked about confidentiality, one of the biggest things, and I think people were worried about coaching online. I think a lot of people didn't think it would transition very well, but it has been, and we found that people have opened up much more online, and I think it's because they're maybe in their own space and they're feeling really, really comfortable. And even right into that first session, I think one of the things I'm always really proud about the feedback we get from our coaches is actually people can trust them right from the outset that they won't break those confidences as well. So, you know, please do feel really comfortable to come and really be yourself in the sessions as well. And the other things, we won't rush you, we will spur you on to action, but we promise that we will do this at your pace as well. Again, back to what we do with challenging, it is important that we do challenge you, but we're not going to rush you or kind of force you to make any kind of decisions. It really will be at your pace as well. So hopefully that's probably quite a lot of information, but I'm going to take you back just a second to maybe where I should have moved my slides about as well. So what is coaching was where we started, and then we've done what you expect, what not to expect. And this is building on the one earlier that I talked about. So I've just put up a couple of quotes there, because sometimes I think people might think, well, what is the power of coaching? You know, what is the reason and the purpose for coaching as well? And I think these two quotes are lovely. So coaching creates a safe and courageous space for growth and experimentation. And I think I love that for the courageous ones. You know, we will really support you to make the changes that you want to take. It will take courage, but if you feel supported, we hope that actually you can really commit to it as well. But I love that the experimentation phrase in this quote as well, because no right answer, there's no wrong answer when you're coaching. You're trying things out, and if it works, great, but if it doesn't, then we look at tweaking it and trying it again. So it can be a really nice place for you to be quite experimental as well, within that kind of safe parameter of being coached as well. I certainly know that some of my coaches use me as, you know, I'm just trying this thing out because I'm being coached at the moment as well. So it kind of gives you a kind of nice place to play around in as well. And then the other one, which is maybe the quote that you've heard more when it comes to describing what coaching is, it's about unlocking a person's potential. We talk a lot in coaching about potential, you know, and this is absolutely the potential for you that maybe has always been there and you thought, I just wish I could do X, Y, or Z. That's what coaching is about, to really support you to, first of all, maybe identify that potential, but if you already know it, to really start grabbing it as well. And it's helping them learn rather than teaching them as well. So the power of coaching for us is really, first of all, about bringing in that inspirational goal. You know, what is that emotional change that you're really wanting to? And I think that became really apparent when we did coach during COVID, and the goals that we set or before COVID happened, actually the emotional change was still the right one. It might be that a lot of things happened out with their control, but actually we could still guide our coaches towards that emotional change that they wanted as well. So that really is for us the big power of coaching as well. So a couple of the quotes, and I'm kind of going to leave them up there as well, just for you to really think about what other people have said, and what hopefully you're starting to think about what you might get from this as well. As we talked about at the beginning, there are 10 places, and we would massively encourage you all to apply for them as well. I'll share with you in a second as well what happened with the first cohort that we've taken through as well. But I suppose what the session today about is to give you that understanding of coaching, but really start to whet your appetite about thinking, wow, this might be something that's right for me, but also right for me right now as well. So you can kind of see some of the things that people have said about it as well. So again, what can coaching be used for? If you're sitting there thinking, actually, I'm not that sure, is coaching right for me? Is this something that's right for me right now? hopefully you can see with all the different things that I've put up there is actually coaching can be used wherever change is wanted or needed. Actually, coaching can be changed. So it's maybe moving to a new role. There may be skills that you need to acquire, and we can really support you in making them. Talent development's a fantastic one for coaching. Personal development comes with every single coaching. Leadership, performance, well-being, which has been a real key one for everyone over the past 6 months, and really to increase productivity. So it's got a lot of different uses, but I think if there's a change that you're looking to make, even if you're not sure what that change is right now, then coaching is the right support for you. If you're looking for someone to give you that direction, or if you're looking for someone to give you advice, it could well be that mentoring is the right thing for you as well. But we'd be really happy to either speak to you around your application or speak to you at the end about that one as well. So there were the slides that were meant to be at the start. So I'm going to share with you, just to build on whetting your appetite a little bit as well, I'm going to share with you a coaching wheel. So this is a coaching tool that we use in lots of different sessions as well. But what we did, we sat down and worked with Jo and Carmel at the beginning and thought, I wonder what the key aspects could be for people coming through this program as well. So the way we use a wheel is, rather than someone come with quite a specific topic or issue, we try and get people to think about a more holistic way of looking at what it might be going on in their lives, because sometimes we might think that everything's to do with professional development, but actually there might be things around relationships and health and well-being, for example, as well. So this was a wheel that we created especially for this program as well with Jo and Carmel, and it's worked out really well. What we do with it is we rate it at the beginning of the program, so where are you, and then we rate it again at the end of the program. So I'll share with you the results from the first cohort, but rather than me keep talking to you like this, what I'm going to do is we're going to open up some breakout rooms, and I'm going to ask you to start talking to each other a little bit as well. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I want you to, and again, this might be where you might need to either write down what parts or sometimes take a photo. I think in a lot of my sessions now, people are out with their phones, their cameras, taking photos of the slides as well, because I can't share the slides in the breakout room, unfortunately. But I want you to pick maybe 1 or 2 areas of the wheel. And I want you to think about, what is it about this? What is currently going on just now as well? So before you do it, and before you go into your breakout rooms, I'm just going to give you a minute to perhaps think about how you would rate each section out of 10. So 1 is this area isn't going well at all, and 10 is this area is absolutely trucking along perfectly. I'm very happy with it as well. But when you go into your breakout rooms, pick 1 or 2 of them, and I'm going to ask the first person to talk about that area for 5 minutes. So the listener, the other person in the pair, isn't to interrupt for 5 minutes. And I'm going to ask you to keep talking. And then at the end of it, it would be quite fun if the listener could try and reflect back to the person who's been talking, the points that they heard, and then ask them, what would you like to do? So if you can come up with some actions, that would be absolutely brilliant as well. So it'll probably only be about 10, 12 minutes that you're in your breakout rooms as well. But if you can talk about it, have it reflected back to you, and then maybe come up just with 1 action that you could do to move this forward today, that would be fantastic. So what we're going to do in the next 15 minutes or so is get you ready for the application form as well. So they're due in on the 27th of November. You will have a link. We're hoping it's quite a nice, easy online form for you to do as well. But what we're looking for is to really start to understand a little bit more about what your expectations and what success looks like as well. So we will start thinking about this. But first of all, what happened with our actions? So, so for you, somebody's doing research options. Oh, inspirational goals are up there as well. You're looking for confidence, talk to people, work-life balance, not leave plans to the last minute. I love that. That is me. Understand what I'm good at, a bit shadowing going on. Think deeply as well. I think all good coaching should have an element at the start of thinking deeply as well. Brilliant. Good. Find good support groups, develop leadership skills. Brilliant. And one of the things, and one of the reasons that we kind of did that exercise with you is to start whetting your appetite. Coaching is really action orientated. It's actions that you set. We're not going to kind of push you into doing anything or rush you, but sometimes just the smallest action can make quite a big change as well. So anything you've committed to today, please do your best to kind of start doing it as well. And that's kind of hopefully the feeling that you will get from coaching as well. Brilliant. So some plans being set and everything. We will share that as well. But what I'm going to do is just quickly go over the onboarding process with you guys as well. So I just need to share my screen again, and we will get going. So just probably a little bit more about how we do this. Oops, I've gone too far again. Is what will happen, hopefully, when you're successful for your application, not only will you get matched with a coach, as we will onboard you onto our platform as well. So we have an online coaching platform, and with that comes lots of resources as well. There'll be more around emotional intelligence, more about strengths that I talked to at the beginning as well, but a lot of resources for you to access when you want to access it as well. You will actually be able to book your coaching session within this platform as well. So we're hoping it's a really nice space for you. And I think one of the things, not just with our platform, but just to emphasize that the more that you put into coaching and the more you put into the reading and the development alongside it, the more you will absolutely get out of it as well. So I thought I would share with you a little bit about our last programme as well. So here are the results from our first programme as well. As you can see, we actually ended up taking through some more participants. But the thing I'd like to really point out to you is the themes at the side. So these are the things that people talked about most and the coaches shared them with you. You can see massive amount of workload. So the bigger they are, the more they were talked about as well. Time management was in there, coping with change that was thrust upon us. And I think I probably talk on behalf of all the coaches that worked on the programme last time with me. I felt it was actually a real privilege to be able to coach people through COVID as well, and certainly on this programme as well, and really give them a bit of space and time out with the madness that was going on, to really hook back into that original goal and really help them move forward as well. With all of this going on, there was a lot around imposter syndrome, a lot around limiting beliefs as well. So these are the kind of themes that we were hearing. But if we have a look down on the kind of bottom right hand side, this is the wheel that you guys have just been working on as well. And I think the absolute standout one is 24% or 2.4 in the 1 to 10 scale. That was the jump in personal growth throughout the programme as well. So we were absolutely delighted with the results, that in a period of unprecedented change, as everyone keeps talking about, actually people were able to still move forward. So for us as coaches, it was phenomenal to be part of it, and just a really good starting programme for all of us as well. So that's a little bit about that. But now what I was hoping to do is start to think about, hopefully we have answered some of your questions around what coaching is, but you might still have some more. And the reason that this is important is because in your application form, we are going to ask you, what is your knowledge? What do you know about coaching as well? So that's one of the questions. The other questions are, well, there's a few other questions about background, but the ones we could talk about today and I could maybe help you with are, first of all, what are your expectations? And then what would success look like to you as well? So I'm going to pop you back into your breakout rooms to really start preparing you and maybe use this session to ask us any questions. First of all, if you've got any questions about what is coaching, I've obviously given you a bit of a high level one there, but if you've got any kind of burning questions, let's get them discussed in the rooms as well. But also to start to help you formulate, what are your expectations? What will you put in the form? And also, what would success look like to you? So we're hoping to run the programme starting off in January till maybe August time as well. So for about 6 months we'll be running it for as well. So what would success look like for you? And I thought while we talked a little bit about any questions you had about coaching, if you pop up some of your expectations, successes, and we can kind of start seeing and sharing each other's as well. So the way we're going to kind of do the last kind of few minutes as well, if you just want to even come off mute, and if you've got any questions, hopefully I can kind of answer them for you here just now. Any questions? I think I've given you 2 tasks to do as well, so I've given you Menti and that one as well. Again, come off mute if you've got any questions, even just to kind of start wrapping things up for you as well. As I said, what I really hope we've done today is really whet your appetite about maybe still not 100% sure what to expect when you come to coaching, and I think that's pretty normal as well. It's an experiential way of learning, and until you've experienced it, sometimes it can be hard to understand how powerful it is as well. But I really hope we've whetted your appetite so that you will apply as well. We do only have 10 spaces as well, but you've got to be in it to win it, so please do kind of apply as well. So let's just see what's going on over at Menti as well. Brilliant. Confidence has come out earlier and it's kind of come out again. Prioritization is a huge one. Again, Stephen Covey's rocks are a brilliant one to start looking at already for that one. Time off versus work. It was one of my coachees, and it was just one of my favourite moments in lockdown. And they said, I don't know if I'm working from home or if I'm living at work. And I think that's quite a theme as well. Neither do I. Brilliant. And I think absolutely developing self-awareness, set new habits is a huge one. I think you've all definitely picked up on what it is coaching can do as well. Feel permission to change. We talk a lot about giving yourself permission in coaching. Sometimes we're harder on ourselves than we ever are on anybody else around us as well. So giving ourselves permission to change, and also sometimes kindness is coming out as a really big one. A few people have obviously put that in, so it's actually just even permission to be a bit kinder to yourself as well. Some of the feedback we sometimes get in sessions is people can sometimes feel it's a bit selfish. Oh my gosh, I'm just talking about me, I'm just talking about what's good for me. But that's what your coach will encourage you to do, because anybody else is out with our control. Anybody else, we actually can't really make anyone change behaviours. But in that session, this will be completely about you, what you want, maybe what you need as well, but just a real space not to be polluted by other people's opinions, other people's values, other people's beliefs as well. Okay, so brilliant. Thank you so much, and thank you for going into your breakout rooms. Thank you for playing about with Menti with me as well. Jo will be in touch soon, but if anyone's got any questions, it's just kirsty@coachingdirectuk.com. I can definitely field them for you as well. Well, I just hand back to you, Carmel.
Yeah, that's great. Kirsty, thank you very much. That was a really good overview of the coaching scheme. We look forward to receiving all your applications by November the 27th. If you send them to, where do they go, Jo? Is it to Kirsty or is it to yourself?
It's a form. Yeah.
It's a form.
And it goes directly to Coaching Direct.
It goes directly. So if you send them there, and we will look forward to hearing how you all get on in the next year. Kirsty, thank you very much for giving up your time to come and talk to us today. Nice to see you all.
Yeah, thanks guys. Nice to see you. Hopefully we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.